Education is still not amongst the top 4-5 professions.
Kashmiri families only knew two things: doctor, engineer, and the third was a teacher. So when I opted for English literature, many eyebrows were raised. My dad always used to say, खुदी को कर बुलंद इतना कि हर तकदीर से पहले खुदा बनने से ये पूछे बता तेरी गज़ा क्या है.
What is your advice to somebody who wants to work in the education sector? What is the joy of being in an education?
So in 2004, I started working from home and I'm still doing that. That was something which most of the Indians had not even heard about.
We are seeing great interest in India, education sector. I call it the 92 liberalization movement for our education sector.
I see only two challenges. One is the fee structure, that how would they moderate the fee here and how would they get the same experience that a student gets in their original campus right here in India.
Masters Union is known for learn by doing. What is your take on this philosophy that we are advocating in India? Welcome back. This is Ankur Vora, your host. We are at Intersect by Masters Union podcast series. Today I have with me a very distinguished guest, Ms. Meenakshi Kachroo Chatta. She is the Senior Director for South and Central Asia for the College Board. Welcome, Meenakshi.
Thank you, Ankur. Lovely to be here.
Honor to have you here with us. A long pending conversation.
Yes, absolutely.
We have been trying to get Meenakshi for the last couple of weeks, but she has been busy. A lot of travel that came up for her. I'm happy that finally you were able to take time out for this conversation.
Pleasure is all mine.
Meenakshi, you are someone that is doing some phenomenal work and one of the most senior person in education sector in India. You are heading college board and have a fantastic career that you have lived through for the last almost 3 decades now. And when I was going through, I know you for last many years, and we have been professional friends, and we have met at conferences. But these conversations give me an opportunity also to understand a little bit more about your own journey. And I went through, when I was going through your profile, I was seeing those experiences. I saw, wow. I mean, you have had such a fantastic professional graph in terms of your learning. I realize, and we'll have those conversations. I mean, you started with, entrepreneurship, and then you went on to work in HR, and then marketing, and now what you're doing today. So this is going to be a fantastic conversation. I'm pretty sure of that. We'll have so much to learn, both myself and our viewers here at Intersect by Masters Union. So let's start. Sure. If you can start with your early academic year, early professional journey, your family background.
Sure. So I belong to Delhi, a Kashmiri Pandit otherwise, but born and brought up in Delhi. Lived in a joint family where it was not just my grandparents, but my dad's grandparents also. And that's where I think the first leadership lesson was being taught when I saw my mother feeding and taking care of all these family members with such love and affection. That's the first leadership lesson that I got. From there started my academic journey. School life, Manasali School in Delhi itself, then English literature in University of Delhi. I was a very shy and introvert person, Ankur, but when it came to, opting for studies, so Kashmiri families only knew two things when I was a child: doctor, engineer, and the third was a teacher. So when I opted for English literature, many eyebrows were raised, but then they said, okay. My dad was like bindas type, and he said, okay, go do whatever you want to. And I said, okay, I'll do English literature. In the undergrad side, when I was going to college, one day I remember a conversation with my dad, and I said, why am I going to college? The same kind of a conversation like we had just now, that what am I doing here?
Yeah.
What is this that I'm studying will affect my life, or what will I do with this? The books were excellent. Reading Hamlet was absolutely fantastic. So just before my undergrad results were out, I think it was the last day of my exam, my friends went to PVR for a movie and I went for an interview to be an intern. So I started my job even before my undergrad results were out. And I started that with an advertising agency in an account management side.
So you studied literature?
Yeah.
And you mentioned there were 3 things in a Kashmiri family. I mean, doctor, engineer, and so happy the third one was a teacher.
Yeah.
Because that in itself is a good thing. There is at least third one is a teacher.
Yeah.
So when you were studying English literature and you had that conversation with your dad, and why am I studying this,
Yeah.
and what is the end outcome? Uh, and then you have now joined as an intern while your friends are watching a movie
Yeah.
at PVR.
Yeah.
So what was the motivation of taking up that internship?
Very interesting question. So, while in my childhood journey, there was a me time or a nas time between me and my dad. We used to have this yoga thing every morning, and I used to do yoga with him.
Wow.
But that was more of a conversation thing between him and me, so that we could spend time with each other. And until that ingrained certain qualities in me. And there was one thing that he always used to say every now and then. And if it's okay with you, I'll speak in Hindi.
Yeah, बिल्कुल
So
बिल्कुल.
there were these lines. खुदी को कर बुलंद इतना कि हर तकदीर से पहले खुदा बंदे से ये पूछे बता तेरी जज़ा क्या है. So I think the first time I heard these lines, I was in grade 6, and I still remember these lines, and I tell this to my children now. But वो एक थी चीज़ that I want to do something big. I want to have a name and fame for myself. So normal routine नहीं पचता था, you know. So when my friends went for a movie, I said नहीं यार कुछ तो करना है. Let's go. Let's do something. Let's do something worthwhile. And I went for this interview. And during the interview also they asked me, so being shy and introvert, they could recognize that and they said, do you want to go in for the creative side? But me being me, very unconventional, I said, nahi, nahi. Client service in account management looks good. I was absolutely raw. Didn't even know what these words mean. But I said, okay, I'll go that side. And that's how it started, my life, my work journey.
Wonderful. And Hare Krishna, I mean, kudos to your dad for instilling that inspirational thought in your head and early on. I think
Yeah.
one of my favorites too. So super. So you have started working as an intern, and then I was reading your profile. I think you went for HR also at some point of your
Yeah.
time in your career, and entrepreneurship, and then marketing. So please tell us a bit more about this
all
whole
those are
profile.
related. All those are related. So when I went for this intern thing, you call it luck, good or bad, I don't know what happened. But there was some crisis one day within a month of my joining. And so उस समय क्या होता था, in an ad agency, in a creative side, you had to literally draw everything because softwares were not there. I'm talking about like 30 years back.
बिल्कुल.
So you have to draw your pitch and you have to present it
Yeah.
verbally without any PowerPoints or without any help. So everything was done, and this was an account meeting with a leading corporate in Delhi and had to be presented by my leadership. But some unfortunate accident happened at his place and he could not come. So I was told, you just have to tape this, go there and deliver it to him. But because I was involved in those conversations, and my luck or whatever, when I had to deliver it, it was the CEO of that company who was there, and he started asking questions, and I gave him all the replies. I think we received the account after some time, but not because of me. There were a series of discussions also. But that one incident instilled in me a passion that, yes, I can do it. I want to be at that level where that person is sitting, and I also want to be involved in such conversations. So
So you were
कैसे
just
होगा?
an intern.
I was just an intern.
Wow.
So कैसे होगा? MBA चाहिए. At that time, you didn't have education consultants. You didn't
Yeah.
have really a mentor for yourself.
Even
So
information access would be difficult.
Yes.
Internet,
So I
social
started
media.
gauging all these things at my workplace. So I thought, okay, MBA. Let's do MBA. Going outside India was not possible. I knew my means. I knew that's not affordable, right? Let's not talk about it. So there were two options. Full-time MBA or a part-time MBA is what I had heard about. Amity University had just launched their part-time MBA at that time. I got an admission in a full-time MBA in Mumbai. And there was a queue. वो counseling sessions होते थे ना. So
बिल्कुल.
counseling में there was a queue and there was a line, and next was my turn. Until then, I had done all my conversations with the seniors of that university or the college there. And I was bent upon this thing that why should I go for a full-time MBA, although it was a premium institute. Amity was just starting at that point of time. So we had to give that draft, and everybody, all the students in that line had their parents. At least a single parent was there. I didn't have anyone. I had gone alone. When that's so, okay, let's go and see what happens. So the moment I had to give that draft, something, that higher power told me, no, this is not for you. And I said, no, I don't want to give it. and I came back to Delhi. I joined Amity because at that time I had also joined Grasim Industries. So in the
Yeah,
morning,
Grasim.
I used to go to Grasim in Connaught Place. In the evening, I used to go to part-time evening classes to Noida
Wow.
without much transportation help at that time. So yeah, those 3 years in between marriage, Uday, and those things. But yeah, I completed my graduation, post graduation along with my work, and I was an MBA. I was very happy with it. So that's how it worked. And
So
after Grasim started the entrepreneur journey.
So you are a firm believer in our philosophy of learn by doing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And sometimes you learn a lot, and that helps because you cannot blame anyone. No blame for circumstances, no individual to be
Yes.
blamed. Whatever you are doing, it's your decision. So that's absolutely
And I think
fine.
that's a important point that I want to highlight. A lot of the early, youngsters reach out to me also. When is the right time to do an MBA? Is it directly after my graduation? Should I enter and start doing a full-time MBA? And I always tell them it is always better before you jump into an MBA, understand how the real world is operating. Join a company as an intern or do a project or do some stint at entrepreneurship, because and you can, as you said, you can do a part-time MBA. There are a lot of more opportunities now.
Absolutely.
But if you really want to do an MBA, I will suggest that at least have some level of real world experience uh, under your belt before you go for a full-time
Yeah.
MBA, because MBA requires some worldly wise thought process in your head of how the world is operating. Otherwise, it becomes just another book
True.
based program, which will not help you. And I think that's why Masters Union and our philosophy has been really focusing on that aspect, that even our full-time programs, our MBA programs should give students access to real world
Wonderful.
and access to corporates. So great. Now I come to, one organization that you have spent almost 2 decades. Now
17 years. Yeah.
17 years and TCY online.
Yes. Yes.
And to be honest, before I met you, I had not heard of this organization. But when I went through its profile, it's been doing some phenomenal work for many, many years. So please educate us about TCY online. How did it happen? What was your journey
Sure.
like?
So after the entrepreneurial stint I had, it didn't go well, and which is fine. Absolutely, when I look back, I say it's okay, it's fine. So my husband picked up a job, and we were in Ludhiana at that time. And I went to Ludhiana and I started scouting for jobs. And I called up this company, and the CEO was the one who picked it up, and he said, "Okay, why don't you come for the interview? Because the designation was manager HR." So I said, "Okay, I'll go."
Also, it was HR.
Yeah, so I looked because in my MBA, I had done specialization in marketing and HR both.
Okay.
So I thought, okay, fine, let's go and meet this person. And when I went there and the interview happened and all those things, so coming back to the entrepreneurial spirit that we just discussed, Ankur. So once you are an entrepreneur, you always remain an
I'm
entrepreneur.
an entrepreneur. Yeah.
I'm
That's the
still
mindset.
entrepreneur.
Yeah,
Even if I work with College Board, I am still
the mindset remains the
same.
same.
Yes. So during that interview, I think he thought that, okay, she's a good fit because she has that kind of a value, that kind of a spirit, because that was a startup. So startups generally need that kind of a mentality within the organization. So when I joined TCY, it was hardly about 12 people. When I left TCY, we were about 150 plus people into many verticals. So that's how the journey in TCY Online began, with a HR manager going on to becoming one in the leadership position as well. So I
Yeah.
was one of the equity partners as
Okay.
well. And then taking up the international business part, taking up study abroad part. So there are many hats that I'd gone in those 17 years, and which was wonderful. A lot of learning and a lot of gratitude for my ex-boss also, because in 2003 it was my first child, and there were many problems, many challenges, and I had to be bed rest for almost 7 months. So that was a challenging period in my first delivery. But as soon as that got over and my daughter was about 3 months old, I started receiving calls again. Why don't you come back? Why don't you join? And then I asked my in-laws. So two people I really have a lot of gratitude for is my ex-boss and my mother-in-law, who came, who supported me in this entire journey. So hats off to both of them. So when I joined back, again, my husband picked up another job and he had to take a transfer. So that time my CEO said, wherever you work from home. So in 2004, I started working from home, and I'm still doing that. So that was something which most of the Indians had not even heard
Heard of
about.
2004 work
And
from
a
home.
company from Ludhiana telling a person, telling an employee, wherever you are, you work from home full time, proper 9 to 6 job, but work from home. So that's how my journey began, and that's how a loyalty also began. So even when I came to Noida, my friend said, "Now you're back in Noida. Why don't you look for a job for yourself?" I was like, "No, no." उस समय पे उस इंसान ने मेरी मदद की, so
Yeah.
I have to give back what I have to, whatever I can do for the company, I will. So that's how 17 years.
Wow. And what was this company? What is this company into? Or what are they
Okay,
doing?
TCY is into test prep.
Okay.
So a pioneer in online test prep. Right now they have about 200, 250 exams that they deal with. And it's all online test preparation and an aggregator model now for coaching centers. So most of the big coaching names that you hear about use TCY Online's backend test
Okay.
prep platform.
Okay. Okay.
And they also went into online tutoring in between, where we got business from US. I don't know if you've heard about No Child Left Behind law.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
they
yeah.
had
Yeah, yeah.
Obama time. So that's when the business was outsourced to India, and TCY was one of the pioneers again to get into online math tutoring for US students.
Okay. Okay. And I think they're doing phenomenally well.
Absolutely.
And
Phenomenal
your
job.
own journey from HR to one in the leadership, I mean, phenomenal, inspiring. And I'm so happy to hear about work from home from 2004.
Yes.
And the
Yes.
world got to know
Yes.
work from home only 2020.
So I used to give lectures to people at the time of COVID when work from home started. They told me, "How did you do it?" And I said, "Self-discipline is the first thing." So I used to get up, get ready the way I have to go to office. Until
Office.
date, I do it until.
Wow.
Not even a single day that I have not got ready and sat on my desk at exact the time, 8:45 or 9 a.m. when the office starts. Till today,
Okay.
it's been my routine. I do not
So you
defy
have a
that routine.
separate space at home for your
Yes,
office, and
yes.
then you
It started in 2004,
for
and even if I've shifted my house is my place, but that separate space
discipline
always
remains.
remains.
Wow.
That discipline always remains. So
God
my daughter
bless
was hardly 2.5 years old, and when she used to come back from her daycare, she knew the office door is closed, means I do not have to enter. I do not have to trouble her. So that's how she also grew, and that's how my younger son also grew then. So
Wow.
that's the journey.
God bless you. So happy to hear it. And I think important lesson for all the youngsters also that I mean, I deal with a lot of them and want work from home, but then they do not understand the discipline required to be working
Absolutely.
from home,
You
having
have
a
to.
separate space, and having that self
Yes.
control in sense of the timings that you have to devote have to be there. It's like going to office, but I mean, the sad part is a lot of our people working in the industry also. When they are even in the office, it's very difficult for them to work for 8 hours. This is a novelty, but great. Thank you so much for sharing that. Really interesting TCY online, and I think from there, your journey took you to the college board.
Yes. So it's very interesting. So I was very comfortable with TCY Online because it became just like my extended family. 17 years is a long, long
Oh, yeah,
time. And
absolutely.
that too, when you build an organization from startup to, 150 plus team members. But then 40 plus and you start having those things
Yeah.
that, you want to do something else also.
Else
There
also.
comes a saturation point, and that's when I started talking to my employer that, look, now it's more than enough that I've given to the company, but I want to learn more. And so he gave me a timeline of 3 years, which people very laugh at me and say that you didn't have a job, you resigned without anything, and then you gave a time of 3 years that okay, I'll be in the company for 3 years because you want to groom the next level
Next
also.
level.
But that's another lesson that I learned, and if you have to build up your company,
So
that
they-
grooming is very important.
So you were there for 3 years.
Yeah, after I said that,
Said
okay,
you
Tata
want to
Baba,
leave.
yeah, I was there for
Notice
3
period
years.
for 3 years. Wow. 3 years
Yeah.
ka notice period.
Yeah. And it's only 1 month before my 3 years had to go over. I saw this post of College Board and I applied, and I had an interview with with Linda Liu, who was
Yeah.
working at that time. And then I said, okay, now I've got the offer. And I was like, no, but you're still here. I said, no, 3 years already. I have to go.
And then College Board and Linda,
Yeah, and
and
then
this
College Board, then
conversation, and now you're the
Linda.
senior director here.
Yeah.
Wow. So, what is happening in the College Board? What is your mandate? What are you doing here?
College Board is one of the wonderful organizations, in the education system, I would say, and not because I'm working here, but because of the culture of College Board, Ankur. One is really satisfied working here. One, you talk about mandate. So we have a clear vision that we have to clear path for all students to own their future. That we write in our website, but we clearly mean that, and I'll tell you why. When I joined College Board, AP exams were just going to be conducted in May, the Advanced Placement Program. And and my region is India, South and Central Asia. So I have seen students coming from the remotest of the cities from these countries and applying for the advanced placement courses. The SAT centers are still there at many places, but advanced placement centers are not there. Remotest of the cities with one student applying for an exam from one school, and College Board ships the exam material from US to that particular city just for one student. So
Okay.
that's the beauty of the organization, that we
Wow.
are not after just numbers. We are after access, that every student should have an access of the program, should get an access to the opportunity that they deserve. That's all. So that's the kind of mandate, if you term it like that. That's what we are here for, and we are trying to expand it to the entire South and Central Asian
South
region.
and Central Asia, and I think if I'm not wrong, outside of US, India is the only place where
Yes.
College Board has an office and
Yes.
a full blown team here. I know. I mean,
A lean team, 4 people team.
4 people
but
team.
Yeah, we are the only place. Although we exist in a different entity, College Board India LLP, but the principles remain the same.
Wonderful. And I know that your mandate, as you said, is also South and Central Asia, and you are working a lot also in Central Asia. I know.
Oh yeah, along with Azamat from the Bill of
Azamat,
Innovation.
he has been on this podcast from Kazakhstan. So,
Yes.
what is happening there? If you want to speak about Central Asia,
So, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, great progressive countries, I would say. And like Masters Union is one of the progressive institutions. You accept the SAT, and
Yeah.
hopefully you would accept the AP also someday.
Yeah.
But universities in Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan are also starting to doing that. But more important is the schools, the leadership at the government level. They are so progressive, Ankur. So yesterday, in fact, we had a virtual sign off with one of the state testing agencies under Ministry of Higher Education.
Okay.
So it was a virtual sign up because we could not go there. But the agency plans to have 7 test centers for SAT and then followed by AP. And these are huge test centers with about 1,200 capacity of students that can sit and take the exams. Plus, they would also do local marketing. And why would they do that? Because the leadership, the president's rule is that anybody who's taken an international exam, and in this case, I'll talk about SAT, if they get more than 1,200, they get a reimbursement of the SAT test fee
By the government?
by the government,
Wow.
and also a scholarship. The entire tuition fee, wherever math program is there, is waived off for national universities if they enter with a SAT fee. So that's the kind of progressive outlook that they have, because they want to increase their international education excellence, and they want students to progress, to do well in their society. Similarly, Kazakhstan, this Bilim group where Azamat is part of,
Yeah.
they study well, they go abroad, but they come back. And then they also do work in those same institutions that they have studied in. So that's the kind of outlook they have. And similarly, a progressive country, Bilim is doing a lot of work towards counseling the students. They do a lot of, they host master union
Yeah, we
students
have.
also competitions
They have
as well.
hosted
So,
us.
yeah,
They've also hosted TETR.
correct.
And I mean, Azamat, I mean, I have to give a shout out to this guy. He's doing some phenomenal work.
Absolutely.
I'm a great fan of his
Absolutely.
work and what he's been doing globally. And I think you have also worked very closely with him
Yes.
and Blame Group. I think they are doing fantastic. Uh, so now, College Board as an organization, as you mentioned, is doing some good work, enabling access and ensuring that, the students have access to world-class education. And we are also in India, coming back to India. I mean, we have had NEP 2020, and we are seeing great interest in India education sector. Now
Yeah.
it's almost, I call it the 92 liberalization movement for our education sector, with so much interest in foreign organizations to come and work with
Absolutely.
us in India and contribute to our targets in NEP 2020. How are you seeing, that interest? I mean, you're leading the college board in this part of the world. I mean, two aspects to this question. One is, I mean, how is college board looking at India, and then, what are you seeing on the ground for other organizations that are coming?
Sure. So, College Board is doing a lot of work in India, and universities like you are locally accepting also the SAT and AP. But besides that, I think when I speak about ATSIS, we are also doing something like India Scholars Program, wherein
Yes, India Scholars
wherein
Program.
when we talk about ATSIS, we do not want students who cannot afford the SAT. They should be left behind. So we have a 90% test waiver fee for students who have an annual income less than 8 lakh of rupees. And then 8 to 15, again, we have a 50%. So that kind of an access is also there. And beyond that, we are working with few universities to give 100% tuition fee waiver to select students. To up to 15 students in a year get that privilege. We're also trying to make AP, the Advanced Placement Program, acceptable for the local usage by Indian universities and students who are taking AP courses. So right now there are thousands of students taking the AP exams in India for going abroad. But Anpu, you and I both know that everyone doesn't go abroad who aims to. They stay back. Then what is it that they can get from Indian institutions if they are doing such a aggressive coursework? AP is a aggressive work. They have to work hard a lot to get those scores of 5 on 5 or 4 on 5. But institutions abroad give them credits. So here also we are trying to get the Indian institutions to give credits for AP courses, and 3 universities right now are doing that. So we plan to increase that. So that's what we are doing in India for now. Coming back to the second part of your question about international institutions, as a Indian, I'm very proud that this is happening, and this is happening in India, and we are trying to be an education hub. From College Board side also, it's a win-win for us because all these are good institutions who accept our programs internationally. So when they come to India, and if they want quality students, and if they are ready to accept these programs, then it will again be a win-win. So we are happy. We are on ground working and looking at this. I see only 2 challenges. One is the fee structure, that how would they moderate the fee here, and how would they get the same experience that a student gets in their original campus right here in India.
Yeah.
So these are some things that I would want to watch. But Monday there's a Liverpool launch also, so it's interesting to know how good universities are coming in. Illinois Institute has already declared a
Illinois has
campus.
already. I think this is welcome, and you're absolutely correct. I mean, those are the challenges, and I mean, those are the, I'll say, problems that the foreign institutions have to take into consideration when they are coming to India. The cost aspect of it, and ensuring that they have. I mean, how do you ensure the experience of the student remains the same? And I think apart from universities, we also have boarding schools now coming and trying to enter India, and I mean, there are already movements there. So, as someone closely working in this field, I resonate. We are welcome, and as Indian also, we should welcome these institutions because I believe they bring in with them a lot of expertise, a lot of experience that our students can benefit from. Super. So, we are sitting in Masters Union, and you have been part of Intersect. In last Intersect, you were a panelist where we talk about bridging the industry academia gap, and now we have a full-blown community and Intersect. There's so many like-minded individuals that are resonating with our thought process. Masters Union is known for learn by doing. We are a young institution, and but growing very fast. This year, we have launched 2 new programs. Program in marketing and psychology, and another undergraduate program in data science and AI, all focused on learn by doing. What is your take on this philosophy that we are so staunchly advocating in India?
So first of all, a very proud partner of Masters Union. We're working closely for almost 3 years now since you started. And seeing this develop, seeing this journey has been a delight, Ankur, the way you and Swati. And the guests that you get in Intersect, it is so lovely to hear to them. And they're all from different sides. I mean, last time I think when I was in the panel, I was with somebody who's working with an airline company
Indigo.
also. Indigo, yeah,
And
and the
then
principal and
we had Vivek from
Vivek
IIE.
from IIE. So it is a delight to have such varied people talking about their experiences, and phenomenal job, I would say.
And we also had, the principal of
Willems.
Willems Girls
Willems
in
Girls.
Dehradun.
Yes.
So it was I think you have touched upon that aspect. I mean, that's what our mandate is in Intersect. What we are trying to do through that is that there are silos that we have divided ourselves in. I mean, I'm a school, I'm a university, I'm an organization, or I am in working in corporate. What we try to do in Intersect is bring all of the stakeholders together, because at the end of it, our job as an institution is to prepare young students for the world. And if we do not talk to each other, because we are going to be part of a student's life at some aspect. I mean, he is
Yeah.
going to go to a school, he is going to go to a university, he is going to go to an organization like the college board, and finally he is going to work for a organization like probably Indigo. So why don't we, all of us, talk together
Absolutely.
and ensure that the kind of education that we are giving them has relevance, and today more so than ever. I mean, in terms of developments happening around AI and technology, and every second week you have something new coming up. And
I also saw the summer program that you are hosting,
Yes.
which looks exceptionally well.
Yes, so we are hosting a summer program in June. So I think, and we love, collaborating with the college board, and we are proud advocate of what you are doing in India, and that's why we have been very very happy that you have supported us also in Intersect, and been a partner to us. Now, finally, Meenakshi, I want to end this conversation. You are somebody who has had a phenomenal career. I mean, starting from somebody as HR, and then coming to marketing, business development, and then college board, and phenomenal work. And, but there are youngsters out there also that are looking at becoming the next Meenakshi Chatta, and how can they ensure? Because let's be honest, education is still not amongst the top 4 or 5 professions in a student's mind. I mean, they are still looking for engineering or medicine or business, uh, but making a career in education is one of the most fulfilling aspects for me personally, and I'm sure you resonate with it.
Absolutely.
What is your advice to somebody who wants to work in the education sector? What is the joy of being in an education?
When you have a lasting impact on somebody's life, you really love it,
Yeah.
even if it was direct or indirect. So, to cite an example, and if we have 1 minute also.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So, we were doing something with Telangana Social Welfare Society, and that was again about the SAT vouchers. So it was a small piece in that entire puzzle of a student wanting to go abroad, and a student from 3 students actually from such humble background, Anpur, where they didn't have actually 2 times meals also at home. So Telangana society did everything for them, because that
Okay.
it's a residential society and they get these students there and educate them. So SAT was a small part of the puzzle, but when the news release came in, and it was like from red bus to Airbus,
Oh wow!
and
Nice.
it cited the 3 students who had got full scholarships and they were going to US. I mean, I was literally in tears, because that's what your meaning of your life is, that you can some way be a part of that revolution that is happening in education. So I think that answers your
Beautiful, and I think
and as a lady, I would say there are 3, 4 things that
Please.
any woman should be comfortable with. One, support from the family. From my side, I had a lot of support from my husband, from my children, still have it from my in-laws, and that's the reason I can travel so much. I'm never at home. Second, support from your organization. That should be there. You should always have a caring organization, and which thankfully for me, I had it in TCY. I still have it. So my boss, every time, whenever he meets us after a while, he says, "When are you going for PTO?" That's his first question, not just to me, but to everyone. So that shows a lot of concern and care. Third is one good friend also that you have, who can pick you up and who can make you a star. You should always have that kind of a friend. So these three things, I think, are way to go for any woman who wants to lead, whether in education or anywhere.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for those inspiring thoughts and
Thank you for
I
having
think
me
words
here.
of wisdom. Really enjoyed having this conversation with you and so much to take away, so much to learn from this conversation. Thank you, Meenakshi, for being
Thank
here.
you.